Alright guys, so an issue I found whenever I was doing the lift is that the sway bar, if you look over there, the mountain bushing is gone on this side. And then 2 bolts I set within there. So I guess somebody took it off and forgot to put it back on, or it broke and they didn't fix it, or the bolts were out of loose and it fell going down the road. Now the sway bar is kind of just where it's at, but luckily I have 2 Moog ones in stock and I had 2 bolts. So I had to jack it up so I can pop this out. I have to actually pop the sway bar and link up there off again, but I'll get it and then get this on here. Forgot I had these, or I'd have done it earlier when I had the lift, when I was doing the lift. But problem solved. Control arms are just in with the ball joints and all the bushings and stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and start taking my old ones off on the 4Runner, and I'll get to also try out my new ball joint press. That's all I've done so far. Took these 2 bolts out, got the brake line loose, 10 millimeters, and then I did take the carter key out. But if you look at the ball joint, that's the angle it's looking at, and also the knuckle is like almost hitting right there, which it's also at full tilt right now, but because the tire's off. But anyway, that's the big reason why we're doing these different control arms, so the ball joint won't be at a bad angle like that since we've done the lift. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and pop the nut off here, get the ball joint broke loose. Then we're gonna go ahead and see if we can go ahead and press the ball joint out. This is our new ball joint. You see it's real straight, and we have plenty of space between the knuckle and the strut. Alright guys, the other side, the other control arm I've already got on. It's a little bit of a learning curve. Had no issue getting the ball joint pressed out or anything like that. Put the control arm pretty easy. Nothing went bad. It all went pretty easy. I had to go to work and then come back. So I started, so I didn't really record much, but I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of step by step how to do this side. First thing we need to do is take our ball joint nut off. Alright guys, I've already removed the carter keys. Now it's a 19th mil or a 3/4 on the ball joint nut. I already broke it. But now I'm gonna take a 10 mil and pop my brake lines loose again. Now I'm going to take a hammer and I'm going to tap on the control arm. There we go, just like that. Alright guys, next thing you're going to want to do is remove your ABS sensor, which is right back here. There's a 10 mil right here, and then according to how rusted yours may be, it will be how difficult it is to get out, but you don't want to break it. Alright, I broke the nut on mine and the bolt. See how easy or hard it wants to be to come out. The other side wasn't bad, because we gotta completely remove the knuckle and press the ball joint out. Oh, this side's way stiffer, I can tell. There we go, we got it. It looks fine. The inside still kind of magnets, not to collect the metal. We can kind of brush the metal off. Anyway, now we got that done. We can take and loosen up our the other brake mount right here and take our caliper off. Alright guys, you got 2 bolts back of your caliper, one here, one here. It's a 11/16. Alright guys, the caliper needs a little persuasion, but it's off. Now I've got it zip tied to the coil, and then I have the knuckle zip tied to the coil to keep it from moving for now. Now I'll go ahead and pop my center cap off, and then take my CV axle nut off. Alright guys, first thing I'm going to do is take and remove my carter key here. You can straighten it back out. Take and just cut it off. There we go. bend it out. Grab our axle socket. It's a 35 mil. Hopefully won't have any issues breaking it, like on the Jimmy. The other side come off easy though. Yeah. Good deal. It's always good when they come off easy like that. Alright guys, I got my punch and I'm just going to tap on this until it's loose. Alright guys, our knuckle is removed. It's over here. Now I'm going to have to take the boot off the ball joint and then we're going to press it out. Alright guys, I took and twisted this a little bit. Now I'm just going to cut it off. Get that off there and then pop the boot off. Alright guys, after I took the snap ring off, after I took the boot off, I removed the snap ring. Now I'm going to show you how I've got my press set up to remove the ball joint here. First thing I do is I just slide it right over the ball joint like so. Then I've got, make sure, if you look on here, now I'll probably add a picture in. There's two lips on here, both these are the ball joint. So you want to have one that goes over and actually touches the knuckle surface. Or you'll just be pushing the ball joint against the ball joint and you won't be getting anywhere. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and take and you want to try to get it as straight as you can. It's a really tight fit though. It's a really tight fit. Anyway, you want to get it as straight as you can, or as possible. There we go. Got a snug holding. It's a 7/8 socket on your impact, and you gotta go. You have to have the bottom ball joint removed. You have to go through there to get it. Then you just hope it comes out. There we go. That is how you do it right there. Just make sure you have your snap ring off or it will not come out. And there's a nice little old 4Runner ball joint. Yep. Alright guys, not going to put the knuckle on yet. I'm going to go ahead and change out the control arm because my front end kit's supposed to be here. Now I'm going to put it back together, just be taking it back apart again. So anyway, I believe it was a 3/4 on the other side. You gotta get a wrench on one side, a ratchet on one side. Go ahead and use this breaker bar to get it broke. This one's a little bit easier than the other side. And while it's tight, you can just spin it on one side. And once it gets loose, it'll start spinning on the other, and you have to get a wrench on it. I'm going to go under the firewall, and the only tip I have is you want to make sure this washer will not clear because of some stuff, so you want to make sure you push the bolt and you want the washer to stay back till you get the bolt all the way out, and then you just can drop the washer. And basically the same way, putting it back on. There's our old SAD control arm. Here's our new one with the upside down ball joint, but the right way actually. And anyway, it just goes on the same way the other one come off. This long bolt right here with the washer on both ends slides all the way through there, just like that. Alright guys, now that was probably like a 60-second install. Very quick, real easy. Now we're going to go ahead and just get the nut on there a little bit. We're not going to tighten it by any means. We're not going to tighten it until we sit it on the ground. Looks good. And like I showed you on the other side, it fixed the angle a lot. Front end kit just came in, so I've got lower ball joint, tie rod end, and the end link. So I'm going to put them on, then we'll start putting the knuckle back on. Alright guys, knuckles back on, ball joint, new tie rod, new end link. This is how you, the control arm, you have a little adapter you put into here, it makes the hole small, and then you have a washer put on the bottom, then your nut, and that's it. Then you just need to tighten up back here when you sit it back down. And also, like I was mentioning earlier, that little bolt right there, that's where your brake line will sit, just like that. And you put your 10mm nut back on there and tighten it up, and then you want to put your rest of your brake line back together like factory. And then yeah, so I'm almost done with this, and I'll show you how the angles look when we sit on the ground. Alright guys, this is our new ball joint. Our new upper control arm and ball joint. You can see it's kind of close to the tire, but that's because our spacers ain't came yet. But anyway, you see there's plenty of clearance between there and the ball joint sitting straight. So tomorrow we'll get our diff drop in and do the bottom ball joint on this side. I have a new CV axle for this side because the hub was cross-threaded. But yeah, and also I trimmed just a little bit back here. You can see right here I took and cut a couple inches of the plastic here and here, and I kind of tapped it with a hammer. Now I have full clearance all the way to the frame. You actually see where it hits the frame there. So the spacers are like, so I have like basically full turning mobility. I got some stocks in the back. But yeah, tomorrow this thing is so close to being on the road, ain't even funny. CV axle change time. All I've done is taken the tie rod in, the ball joint off, the end link's off too, but that wasn't needed anyway. And so I've got the I just slid this over to the side, pulled the boot out. This should be the only tool I need to remove it. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, guys, came out pretty easy. Go back in there, I pull the thing out, and we didn't lose any fluid, which is good. I did put a pan underneath anyway, just in case. But our seals look pretty good. Like they've been replaced somewhat recent. Just in 6 NGK plugs and some plug wires. CV axle just got here, ready to go in, so we can get this thing done. CV axle's in there. I just tapped it with a rubber mallet, made sure it seated up all the way back good. Everything's good, slid in good. Got a new nut on there, I'm about to snug it up. On mine it's a 35 millimeter. So yeah, and then we throw our tie rod on. Then we're gonna do an alignment. The tool's right there. We'll do a closest alignment as we can get. The wheel spacers are here, but it's raining too much to put them on. There's 2 in each box. Those are it. Also came with some thread locker. You always want to use that. These are 1.5 inch spacers. I got 1.5 inch, so I don't have to cut my lugs or anything. Make sure to drop a like. I'm out here in the rain for you guys with this clip. We done unlifted the 4Runner under the water. But anyway, I'm gonna show you guys the suspension all done. Got a nice lift, spacer, control arm, new tie rod ends, end link, CV axle. She's ready to hit the road. And another surprise for you guys. There's a tag on there. So she is all ready to hit the road. Also the light bar, I can show you guys that. I'll probably post a video of it right up in here of it. Being used. My spacers are here now, so we're gonna throw the 35s on and hit you with some B-roll. I'm just desperate to see the spacers on there. Don't forget your thread locker. It's time for the spacer to slide on. Front is done. Now on to the back. Then we'll run some B-roll. Alright guys, y'all see that? 2 foot from the ground to getting in. She's sitting high. 3'8", 3'10" to the mirror. I mean to the door handle. Alright guys, that is it, the final product. And it's so much bigger in person than it looks like on camera. But it looks good, I like it. Super high in the back. I'll get some clips of me up next to it. But yeah, it's good 2 foot off the ground to the door jamb. She is sitting high. And shout out to Max Speeding Rods for a good, cheap, quality lift. You really can't beat it for the price. Way better quality than Rough Country's lift. They want twice as much for. Alright guys, thanks for watching. To wrap this video up and show you the light bar and do a little cold start for you. But if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And make sure to leave a comment. Good, bad, ugly. I don't care, I read every one. Hit you with that light bar. Anyway, hit it with that cold start as well. And I put a lot of time into putting on suspension parts. Put a decent bit of money into it. If you want to take a guess my total, what I got into it, next video I'll say. So comment how much I got into it. Closest gets a shout out. And I'll Sharpie their name on the 4Runner. Just kidding. I might. Depends how close you are. Anywho, we'll hit you with that cold start to end it off. If I can get in.